Yes, a very good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I know Mzalendo is talking about good morning. This is Africa 24, a political discussion that happens here every day at 10 p.m. We are late with that 3 minutes, but we are planning 1, 2, 3 so that we can start the show. I know today we had a big debate that was happening in the parliament of the supremacy in the parliament there. We are having a lot of cases when it comes to 2027 general elections on who is going to win. And all those resonate around President William Ruto and also the Azimio, Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio La Umoja coalition. Now we are having that debate, and of course, Moses Wetangula, who is the Speaker of the National Assembly, is in those problems because the court last week declared that Azimio as the party, the coalition that has more members of parliament. Today, I saw the likes of Junet Mohammed, the likes of Peter Salasia, the likes of Tienda Omolo. Every member of parliament over there was really speaking and trying to defend his stand when it comes to the politics of the Republic of Kenya. But the main aim, when you are in the opposition, then your work is to push the government to do what the manifesto says, to make sure that the rights and what Kenyans want is also being presented in the government. We are having all those here in Africa 24. Of course, we are going to discuss all those. And don't forget, Right Honorable former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga. This week, we are having that Africa chairmanship elections that are going to happen. And we are seeing a lot of people supporting. Yesterday, we saw how the prayers were held, and most of leaders just came. It is during yesterday's prayers whereby we saw it's like there is a hint Raila is going to support Sakaja for Nairobi gubernatorial seat. So where is Babu Wino? Where is Edwin Sifuna? Those are the loyal followers of Raila Amolo Odinga who have been supporting him for a long time since he started campaigning in 2017, 2022. Those are loyal followers. So if he supports Sakaja, who is in the KK government, what does that mean? It means that Babu Wino and Edwin Sifuna are betrayed. Yesterday was a tough day for Sifuna, Babu Wino. I saw the trends in the Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now is referred to as X platform, whereby they were saying that they will stand with Babu Owino when it comes to the Nairobi governor in 2027. All those are happening here, and we are going to discuss all those in Africa 24. I'm not alone here. I have Mzalendo. I have Jeremiah. They will be helping me to discuss all those and also try to analyze this in a deeper way. Now, Jeremiah, we are having this parliament debate on who is the major and who is the minor. What do you have to say about this debate? Of course, it has really affected the Speaker of the National Assembly because he is the one who said that the KK government is the leading when it comes to the majority seats.
Asante Boni. I think it's obvious that the Speaker of the National Assembly made an error in judgment, and I think that it was largely probably pushed in that direction by the executive at that time, because one of the reasons why he even got to that seat was so that he can bulldoze the executive's interest through parliament. So he made that decision at that time that Kenya Kwanza was the majority, but now the courts have proven him wrong, and the courts have stamped the authority and made a ruling in the contrary, that Azimio is the majority party in the National Assembly. and the Senate, in the parliament, let me say so. So the speaker was forced to swallow his pride, okay, and accept that, because that was a court ruling, and is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So he knows that he can't go against the law. So he was forced to accept the court's ruling. But in his statement, as he was accepting the court's ruling, alijitetea kidogo, akasema that the court ruling does not cast any aspersions on him as the speaker in one way or another. Akajaribu kujitetea, which of course we all know haisaidii anything at this point. All we know that the ruling, the majority party in the parliament is Azimio coalition. Then Kenya Kwanza is the minority. Now the parliamentarians were very right in forcefully going and sitting in the right side, where Azimio parliamentarians went to the majority side. What they did really was just implement what the court had ordered. So there's nothing anyone can do. They have sat there. What remains to be seen now is what are they going to do with that position, okay? That they are the majority. Now, that situation is made even more complex by the outcomes of the AU elections. These are coming up. That is coming back this weekend. So I'm excited to see on Tuesday how the parliament is going to carry itself, how the parliamentarians are going to carry themselves, depending on the outcome of the AU elections. So with that said, I think that the ruling by the court was in order, and let's see what the majority party will do in parliament. That is what's going to be the interesting bit.
Asante sana Jeremiah. Mzalendo, you saw the debate today. I know you might have not heard what happened, but today we had that supremacy debate in the parliament, whereby Azimio members of parliament, Kenya Kwanza members of parliament, each of them was trying to defend his government, his side. That is, Kenya Kwanza members of parliament tried to defend the government, while the opposition were trying to show their supremacy in the parliament. What is your take about this? Do you think that Moses Wetangula will be affected by the declaration that he made?
Thank you very much, Bon. Thank you very much, and good evening, Jeremy. Nice to see you back on Afrique after a long time. Yeah, I think my take on the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula's ruling. One clarification that Moses Wetangula made, that the last week declaration of the High Court, did not the last week did not declare any political party as the majority in parliament. Instead, the court ruling disagreed with Wetangula's earlier on the declaration that Kenya Kwanza has the majority in parliament. Now, you have to know what the speaker's role in the house is. And the situation now is for the house, so someone to bring the motion in the house to discuss whether the court ruling has a validity in Parliament. So they will come to the floor, table a motion, and of course they will debate about it. Then there will be a ruling, or they'll take a vote on that particular matter. So that is how I look at it.
Yes, Mzalendo, but I asked you this question. Do you think that this one might be a problem to Moses Wetangula when it comes to making decisions? Now the court declared that he will not suppress other
You
members of
see,
Parliament.
Moses Wetangula's impartiality, as we've always talked about it, he is the leader of Ford Kenya political movement. Ford Kenya has got MPs in Parliament. When he's making, and he's also in this coalition called Kenya Kwanza. So when he's making decision, he has failed to be impartial, and the reason is he's still holding office in Ford Kenya, which by law is illegal. Yeah. So whatever he's doing, he knows it's an illegality. But you see, these parliamentarians and our leaders have got a way of going around the law. Yeah. So you'll find that you'll say that, you know, I resigned from my position a long time ago, or I've already resigned. So some things like that. So his position as the speaker, as it is right now, is illegal because it has been declared by the court that he ought to have done ABCD in order to be the speaker of the assembly. But he didn't do that. He still holds position in his political party, Ford Kenya. Yeah.
Yes. Jeremy, unafikiri pia Moses Wetangula hatakuwa analemewa kwa upande mmoja? Saizi hatakuwa na ile nguvu ya speaker, maana sasa koti ishasema yeye alidanganya.
No, you know, it might have been wrong on that one instance. That doesn't mean that he's always wrong. That is one thing. But I agree with Mzalendo that him holding office is an illegality because he did not resign from being the leader of a political party. He is still actively the party leader for Ford Kenya. And it is something that when you come to think of it, you wonder why no one has gone to court to challenge it, because that was an illegality from the day he was sworn in as the speaker. So moving forward, I don't think that his decisions will be an issue as such. I know that he's not impartial. He has never been impartial from day one, from the day he started. But because we really do have this an amorphous type of relationship between the ruling party, the majority, and the minority, and the executive and all, it is going to be very difficult to do anything to him at the moment. I think if somebody even put forth a motion to impeach the speaker right now, it will be very difficult to push that through. But even before you get to the point of pushing it through, I don't think that anyone would want to put that forward actively at this moment, considering the court ruling, right, and the way the relationship has been between the two coalitions, the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza's coalitions. I think that the president is comfortable with Wetangula being where he is, because he knows that when Wetangula is out, he starts going out for the highest bidder for his Ford Kenya party and a chunk of the Luya vote. So as long as he keeps Wetangula locked up with the parliamentary matters, speaker matters, by the time he will dissolve, parliament for people to go for the elections, he will not have enough time to do anything with his party. And when his party is contained, as much as his party has wound up the same way ANC did and joined UDA, which is more on paper, but in practice, I believe they are still independent parties. So I think the president would not be keen to, have his party or any other party push through a motion to remove the speaker. I know the parliamentarians will make noise to him through and through. They're not going to stop, but I think removing him is not going to be in the interest of the president, as well as even the de facto leader of opposition, Raila. For him as well, if Wetangula is busy running his parliamentary work, he has no time to mingle and meddle with the politics of Ford Kenya and politics of Western, and that is a good position for both leaders, Raila and Ruto, to be in. So I don't think anything will happen to him. I don't see anything happening to him.
Yes, Jeremiah is saying that he doesn't think something might happen to Wetangula. Mzalendo, do you support those sentiments from Jeremiah that Wetangula is safe? And why do you think so? If he's safe,
Wetangula, William Ruto does not want to open a lot of fronts, a lot of war fronts. Meaning that he already has some war with the Kikuyu community after kicking out Gachagua from Kenya Kwanza. So is this somebody who wants to open another war with the Bukusu and the Luya community? So that is something that William Ruto doesn't want to do. So most likely he will tell his members to toe the line and ensure that Wetangula retains the speaker seat. Remember, the seat of the speaker of the National Assembly, it is a vote that each and every member. And don't forget, we are in the broad-based government. So Wetangula wants that vote to come as soon as yesterday. Yeah, he really wants. So the people who are pushing for Wetangula to go, they don't have the numbers in parliament, in the broad-based government and the broad-based arrangement. So they're just making some noise to validate their position. Remember, the minority have never had anything of substance that they are speaking in the 13th parliament, apart from receiving the bribes that they've been taking. So this time round, they've found something to talk about that is of importance and of interest to them, and not in the interest of the people of Kenya. Are you, Bonnie, for instance, are you interested in who becomes the majority leader or not? We are not. We are interested in service delivery, and that is what is important to most people in Kenya. These theatrics are not important to anybody at this particular moment. Yeah.
hey, Zalendo, you think that William Ruto does not even want to create an enmity with, but as the leaders from Kenya Kwanza, they are saying that William Ruto did not create an enmity. He was just trying to expel Gachagua since he was tribalistic, and the Kenya Kwanza government is equal government that does not discriminate. That is what they are saying.
No, you see, ni kama Gachagua and Ruto ni kama maji na mafuta. And what Kenyans don't really know is that these guys started working together a long time ago. Their differences were way back during the YK 92. It is not that they don't know each other. It is not that they met just because they wanted that Ruto wanted the presidency. Ruto knew very well that Gachagua can deliver. He was given Kindiki many times with the members of parliament who did not understand the politics around the Kikuyu community and the country in general. Ruto knew so well that the only person who can deliver is Gachagua. He knows that Ruto does not believe in Kindiki. I can tell you for free that he doesn't believe in Kindiki. But they have got sharp differences in terms of policies with Gachagua, because Gachagua sees him as an equal. They see him from the days of YK92. He doesn't see him as a president. He sees him as my equal. I got votes, even more than you in your region. Yeah, in my region, I got more. You got these votes in Mount Kenya because of me, and nothing else. And he has proved that. He has proved that he can kick out William Ruto from Mount Kenya successfully. Yeah, today are you seeing William Ruto going to pray in Mount Kenya? No, but this is a political game that I see William Ruto making his last calculated move to bring back Gachagua. You see, this is something that has been floated around, but I can tell you that if William Ruto is given a chance, this drama that you're seeing in Parliament and in the High Court and the rulings that are coming late in the day after 1 year, it is just part of the wider scheme that I believe, this is my opinion, that I believe that the Kenya Kwanza government can easily play that joker card and bring Gachagua into power. And what will that mean in the political scene in Kenya? If William Ruto, I've discussed this, if William Ruto goes to Central and they meet with Gachagua, and of course they will meet in that arrangement, and William Ruto says that, you know, mimi niliwafanyia makosa, nimekubali, nimefanya makosa yangu na naomba mnisamee. Hata wewe Gachagua, mimi naomba unisamee kabisa. Saa zingine mtu anakosa, na mtu akikosa, sisi kama watu wa kanisa tunasema tusameane. Na nani anawaambia mimi siwezi rudisha Gachagua kazini? That finishes everything. That finishes the political conversation around Gachagua and William Ruto. So he's back into the cabinet or he's back as the VP and things go on. So he can still play that card.
Jeremiah, umesikia vile mzalendo anasema. Unakubaliana na maneno ya mzalendo kweli?
I don't at all. As much as I think I see the value Gachagua would have, and I know Mzalendo, you also think you see that value, and based on your statement, you think that at some point Ruto would see that value. If everyone would know that value, do you think Gachagua himself would not know his value? And if Gachagua himself knows his value, why would you want to go back to a place where he had been disgraced before? Gachagua Sai has tasted the power, the sweetness of being called the kingpin, ile vizuri. If somebody were to ask him to join hands with Ruto again, you tell that person, no way. He's that confident that he can run and probably even be president on his own without going to be somebody's deputy. So if Ruto were to go to Gachagua with that proposal, I'm very sure Gachagua would reject it, because he knows the value he has, and with that, his thoughts about his value would be reaffirmed even more if Ruto tried to go back to him. So sioni kama anaweza kubali, atakata na atakata kabisa. Now that is one part of it. The second part of it is if Ruto were to go back to Gachagua now, okay, what will he do with the rest of the people that have really been anti-Gachagua? Because let's not forget the things Gachagua used to say when he was VP. Let's not forget the things he did when he was VP. And there are people who honestly, seriously, including myself, believe that he doesn't have the qualities of a national leader, but a tribal leader of sorts. In politics, when your opponent is down, make sure he stays down. Asiamke. Ruto would be a fool to try to reawaken Gachagua, especially at this moment. He could consider it when he goes into his second term and is trying to just mellow down the Murima, and he scans the field and he sees no one, and then maybe Gachagua offers him something when he knows that he's not going to run again. They would say, huyu jamaa unajua tulifanya kazi kaisha. Remember the way even Uhuru came back and accepted Raila towards the end of his second term when he had nothing to gain and he had absolutely nothing to lose by supporting Raila. In that scenario, and this one now I'm talking about 2030, 2031 huko, right? Then Ruto could easily, that scenario that Mzalendo is saying would make sense, would happen, especially if there is some background interest that Ruto has, that maybe there's a legacy or something that he wants Gachagua to protect for him or something like that. But at this time, when he's still expecting to run in 2027, I don't think that it would be a wise move for him to wake up and prop up Gachagua. That is one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that Gachagua is feeling very bullish right now. Anasikia hii kitu anaweza hata akiwa peke yake. He feels like he does not need Ruto to go there. So if Ruto tells him kuja tufanye, he will not agree. He will just say, we bana, we ulishanitoa, hiyo iliisha hivyo. Kimbia na mimi nikimbie, tukutanie mbele. That's why I agree with you, Zalendo.
No, you see, Jeremy, when your opponent is down, yes, finish him completely and make sure that he doesn't come up. Now, this is the thing. When the opponent was down, was he finished completely? No, he didn't. This thing can backfire on you. Sometimes you can start a project to finish your opponent and then it backfires. And according to me, this thing has backfired. The Gachagua was not finished completely. He has gained what he didn't have. He has gained some power in Central that he didn't have before. So finishing Gachagua is something that William Ruto cannot do at the moment. But using the moment, Gachagua is using the moment that he has rejuvenated himself to a powerful kingpin from Rift Valley, a powerful kingpin from Central, to galvanize the Central people and ensure that they rally behind whatever he's saying. So that moment, Ruto lost it. Ruto lost the moment to finish Gachagua completely. He's lost it completely, and he's not going to have it anymore. So the only thing that he has to do is to come around and say, I made the wrong decision. Then I need to apologize to this community. That's how I look at it. But in case that,
but let me ask you, Mzalendo, what would be the benefit for Ruto to apologize and take back Gachagua if he can successfully? What is the benefit for Ruto if to apologize to Gachagua and take him back, if he can manage to consolidate the rest of the country and isolate Gachagua with the central, with the Murima vote? What is the outcome? Because one thing you should know, it's an opportunity cost gamble for him. If he takes Gachagua, he can rest assured that Baba and his ilk are out of the door.
Yeah, you see, with Baba out of the door, it doesn't mean anything. These are people he beat in the other election in 2022. So it doesn't really mean anything. But again, if you look at the situation on the ground, the mood on the ground right now, where you are, is Ruto this popular candidate? What are his ratings? If you look at, if you give him a 1 out of 10, is he as popular? Even Kibaki was unpopular during his last terms in office. But is the rating of William Ruto as a president very, very, very high? No. His rating is very, very low, despite everything that he's doing. His rating is even low in where he comes from. Is in his hometown. Now, this unity, this so-called unity between Ruto and Raila Odinga, is it really popular? This unity is only popular among the political class. It is only popular among the political class. So Kenya is in a moment where the people who have given powers to these leaders are taking it back. Are taking it back in a big way. If you ask, and I know, Jeremy, you can agree with me, although you don't want to agree with me in most of my statements, that anywhere you go, the statements, the things that Ruto has been doing are very, very unpopular. Look at the decision he made last week about giving Somalis. Look at that decision. Is that decision popular, or is it just popular among the Masai among the Somali community? This decision is very, very
even the Somali community, even among the Somali community, it's not popular because even there are
rivalries between the Somalis from Somaliland and the Somalis from Kenya. This
exactly.
He didn't understand. He thinks that, okay, fine, if I give these guys free IDs, they will these other Somalis will be comfortable. Look at what happened. Look at what happened to him in Isiolo. Yeah. So that tells you that there is a problem. If the president is listening somewhere, he should know that there is a problem. And if his handlers are pretending that there is no problem, then he needs to go even into the grassroots and find out from the local people, secretly. I know NSAS have got the machinery to do that. Look at the popularity rating of this president. It is the lowest ever. Despite Ruto having, he has a good healthcare system that is planning, his infrastructure projects that is rolling out, the housing that is rolling out, everything that is working against him. Yeah. Is working against him. So even if and you have seen what Orengo said the other day, how can you join a government that is even more unpopular? ODM joined a very unpopular government.
Now you see that question, and what you just explained to Mzalendo is one side of the explanation why, if Ruto went to Gachagua now, Gachagua would not say yes. Exactly because of what you have said. Why would you join our government that is not popular if you can potentially run?
Why Gachagua would say yes is only one. It gives he now gets the opportunity to contest again. He gets the opportunity to serve the public. Again, he gets the opportunity not to be scrutinized by the arms of government, other arms of government. He gets the opportunity to have a chance on the ballot and to vie as after being the vice president or the deputy president of Kenya, you have got the ambition to become the president. And you don't want somebody to kill just your ambition just like that. If it takes you to sacrifice, your beliefs, then so be it, But Gachagua says that he has got principles that he cannot sacrifice, some of them. So but I think this time around, he must listen. He must listen if that opportunity arises.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But again, like they say, nothing is impossible in politics, or anything is possible in politics.
Did you ever
But Jeremy,
see
Gachagua still wants to get into the government because the way he is speaking, he really wants to get back to the government. Bila naongea akona henka issues. Akiambiwa leo akuje, atarudi. Mimi naona anaweza akarudi.
That we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Na Jeremy, hakuna mtu anataka kutoka kwa serikali. Hebu ambia Mbadi sahi ati tunakutoka kwa serikali.
Hata Junet alisema wao hawakuomba wakae kwa opposition na mdomo ni yake.
Ambia Mbadi ama ule mwingine anaitwa Ndai ati tunakutoa kukua CS, urudi hapo uanze kutafuta kiti ya MP kule mashinani. Jeremy knows the answer. So hata kama ni Raila amesimama kwa mlango yake asubuhi na mapema, akae hapo mpaka saa 9 usiku, amwambie Mbadi bwana, resign from this position and come back in ODM and be the chairman of ODM. Will Mbadi agree?
He will not agree. He will not agree. But atapigwa mawe properly. That can rest assured.
Yeah.
For the next 2 years, atapigwa mawe properly. He won't be able to speak in Luo Nyanza anywhere. But I agree with you now. But that to me is a different scenario, because you are talking about people who are still in government being asked to leave the government. But now the Gachagwa's situation is somebody has disgraced you, akakutupa nje like a dog, and then when he thought you are gone, you realize that kumbe huku maliniko, I still have so much power. I can still actually be able to thrive on my own. It doesn't make sense for me why he would join Ruto again to salvage Ruto, knowing that Ruto, this administration is a sinking ship. I don't see why he would do that. He would say, let it sink so that he takes the next opportunity to then also put himself up for election or support someone. That's what I would do if it were me. Because the same scenario of when your opponent is down, asiamke, the flip side of that is when your enemy is making a mistake that is going to kill him, don't correct him. Wacha ajinyonge tu na whatever mistake he's doing, let him kill himself. By Gachagua coming back to work with Ruto, he's technically saving Ruto. That's what he would be doing. And I don't think he would want to save Ruto. If you know that Ruto is sinking, you'll say wacha jikarange peke yake, the vacuum that you will leave tutaingia hapo. I don't think he would be interested in working with Ruto or joining this administration. Unless, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it would be money that would get him there. I don't know what it is that they would offer him for him to actually be able to work with Ruto.
You know, when you talk, wait just a minute, Bon. When you talk about enemies, did you ever know that Raila will one day work with William Ruto?
I actually did. Personally, I did. And I remember that there was a time after Uhuru won that I was telling guys one day, this Ruto that you was ampendi sahi munaita sijui what, and just the other day was your strong man with on Raila's side as you're fighting Kibaki and the rest. This guy is one day going to come back, and Raila is the one who will bring him back to come and work, to come and vie na nyinyi mtapigia, and you are the ones who will put Ruto in power. And that in very many forums, people said, you don't know what you're saying, you don't know. I said, but then it has come to pass, right? And they're working together. However, those scenarios are different in a way, yeah? Raila is working with Ruto now, okay? Because Raila himself, there's nothing is running, is fighting for right now at the moment. So him working with Ruto is giving him, what should I say, a lifeline between now and 2027. If he works with Ruto in 2027, it's because probably the enemy is worse, one, or two, he really doesn't see an opportunity for him if you are to run against Ruto on his own. But Gachagwa's scenario is that if he doesn't run with Ruto, he sees a scenario where he can actually get into power without working with Ruto. And until we also know who else is going to run with Ruto, right? He actually doesn't see whoever is running with Ruto as probably worse than Ruto. For him to say they're all evil, but Ruto is a lesser evil. You see? So in any scenario, I would see Gachagua trying to hold his own and just running the race by himself. Ruto, Mzalendo. Ruto is bad. The worst president Kenya has ever had. You asked ratings on a scale of 0 to 10. I would probably giving a rating of 2. It's that bad. It's that terrible. Hajafika hata 5. Yeah? Because he's making mistakes left, right. Everything he tries to do is just done wrong. There's nothing he's doing that takes into account the posterity of the country, the benefits to the people, the development and the advancement of the country. So he is going to go down in history as the worst president ever. With that said, this guy will do whatever it takes to stay in power. And I've said this time and time again on this show. We will vote, but what really matters is the credibility of the person who counts the vote. We already know is going to manipulate that. We already have a confirmation on this based on what he's doing in Northeastern by giving foreigners identities. He's already planning the rigging for the 2027 elections. On a fair and square ballot, Ruto will go home by 8 a.m. But I can assure you that the elections are not going to be fair and square, and it's going to be won at the whatever facility where the counting will be done at the national level, right? And being that it's electronic, people think that electronic voting is hard to manipulate. That's the easiest one to manipulate. You can manufacture things, right? Digitally. So Kenyans will not vote for Ruto, but Ruto is going to steal. And like I've said before, what he will do is just make sure that when IEBC or whatever electoral body will be carrying the tallying at that time, just announce that he has won blatantly. And we all know that this guy doesn't understand the law. He doesn't care about the law. Just make sure that they announce him, okay? And then make sure that he gets the certificate or nomination as the president. Then he knows that Kenyans are not people who will fight for life. People will fight for a couple of months. The international community will step in and will just give one condition, that whoever is coming so that we negotiate, let's start from the point of they're discussing with me as the president-elect. In that scenario, the best outcome for Kenya is some form of government of national unity or coalition government or something of the sort. But Ruto going home clean, that he has lost the election to Gachagua or whoever else, I don't see that really happening. It's not, I've never seen any character in him as a person and the people around him and the circumstances surrounding the things he has done as a president right now that would allow him to agree to return to be a civilian because somebody beat him in the ballot. I don't simply see how that is happening, and I'm going to stick with that until after the elections in 2027.
Yes, Mzalendo, umesikia vile Jeremiah anasema?
Yeah, Jeremiah is optimistic that the elections are going to be stolen, but
Absolutely.
I don't agree. If the person who is going to win this election that are coming, this election will be scrutinized more than any other election that you've ever come across. This election will not be as the one that was held in 2022, where everybody knew that the ODM candidate is winning, and later on things turn around. I think if you asked Jeremiah this question about 2-3 years ago, he would tell you, I don't see any possibility of Raila Odinga losing the election in 2022 because he has got the state and he has got the government on his side. How is he going to lose the election? Yeah, that is what he would have said in 2022 before the elections. But today he's saying that elections are going to be stolen. I don't think that elections are going to be stolen. There's a lot of civic education going around in the social media platform and everywhere else. Kenyans are more concerned about their leaders than ever before. The 13th parliament, as you have seen, and many people are just waiting for the day. If you have gone around and seen what activists like Eric Omondi are saying, that wait a minute, you will see what will happen in 2027. You might think that people are quiet, they don't know what is happening in this government, or they are seeing the president on top of the vehicle saying ametenga, amejenga, barabara, sijui na hii. This election is not about even development. It is not. It is about it's about changing the political establishment in this country, cleaning up the cabal, the political cabal that has always manipulated the system. It is changing almost everything from MCA to your member of parliament to the Senate. Forget even about the presidency. It is about cleaning up the house. So that we can have better leaders and organize a future for our children. It's not even about Mzalendo or Jeremy. It is about the future of the country. We are fighting for the soul of the country. Other leaders are fighting to be in power. There are people who are fighting to be in power that Jeremy is talking about. No, they can fight. You can fight to be in power, but there are few people who are fighting for prosperity, and we are more than the people who are fighting to be in power, and that is the difference. Yeah,
that is the difference, Mzalendo. Of course, Mzalendo anasema pia rais anaweza kageuziwa. But personally, I think that 2027 is going to be a tough time for those who steal the elections, because the Gen Z are going to be awake. Gen Z wanahesabu hizo kura.
Bonnie, in the last elections, I told people here that William Ruto is winning, but nobody was believing me. And he's going to win because of ABCD. He was more organized, more determined than Raila Odinga to win the election. Whether he stole the elections or not, then he was more determined to steal. Raila Odinga went to this election after losing 4 consecutive elections, and he was not even prepared.
So I agree with you, Mzalendo, but you see now, when there is a winner, there has to be a loser. These past elections, I don't say Ruto won. I say Raila lost them because of his disorganization and his apathy in planning. His oiling his machine vizuri. Raila lost the election. Ruto didn't win. Yeah. So and you don't think Ruto is going to sit there and wait that Gen Z what. Mzalendo, remember that one of the Kenyan voting population, very few people are in the middle class and reason and have been exposed to things the way you are, and you can reason things out. One, two, trust me, Ruto knows these groups. You said it here. These youth groups alianza na Y2K huko 1992 to date. He knows how these youth groups work. He knows how to create them. He knows how to destroy them. This amorphous group you keep calling the Gen Z, they don't even have a leader. How are they even going to do much? By the time the election time comes around, they won't run. Today you saw Makoure Kasmuel on TV with an ODM kofia and an ODM scarf defending ODM. Yeah, that other guy, Nani, what's his name? This Kisi guy, what I keep forgetting his name. What's his name?
Morara Kibasu.
Morara is creating this party. That party already is, the leadership of the party is already being an issue. Mara ni Morara, Mara ni sijui nani, they're already having squabbles. And if it gets created and it sees the light of day, which it hasn't seen yet, it's already been infiltrated by government operatives. They're already in it. They will know what these guys want to do before they do it, right? And know that when the time comes, watu waanze kumwaga pesa to sway people's opinions, to create narratives, to create appealing interests. No one is better than Ruto in Kenya at the moment. So siku ile itafika siku ya kura, watu waanze kutafuta kura, he opens his war chest and says, I want this seat. And then anaonana na kina Morara Kebaso, and you think Morara Kebaso will have the muscle to put up numbers to throw him? Never. That cannot happen. The dynamics that play in Kenyan electoral cycles are such that when the time comes for voting, people go back to the tribal cocoon, one. Two, people follow the money, right? Three, they will entangle you with so many things. I showed another document here the other day. Mzalendo, you are not here. That parliamentary circular where they are proposing these constitutional amendments to the constitution, right? Where, you know, MPs, senators, governor, all elective positions, watu wapewe 7 years, right? That, you see, that document, it's not even intended for now. That document is intended for, yeah, that one. When we are now about to vote, this will be part of Ruto's manifesto. And guess what? If he goes with it like that, everyone from president, governor, senator, women rep, MP, MCA, they will go for this. Why? Because they are getting more time to eat. Now, once you have a system where all these people are campaigning for you, raia wa kupiga kura, kila raia kona kura moja moja, how do you think that game will end? So yes, I agree with you, Mzalendo. Ruto is the worst president Kenya has ever had, and it will get worse as time goes. But let's not be so I'm not very optimistic on the Kenyan voter. I'm not very optimistic that the Kenyan voter is convinced this is the way we want to go. And I say this very badly, right? I wish that what's his name, was here, because the other day I asked Mzalendo, you're not here. I asked Jimmy, is it Jimmy?
Jimmy.
That if today right? Ruto is running. After he said Ruto is really, really bad and said all these things, bad things about Ruto, then I asked him, okay, fine. It was Jimmy and the other lady. Ule mama alipeleka mbio nikakimbia nikapotea. Anaitwa nani? Ashley. Wale nikimbiza hapa. Nikauliza Jimmy. So now Jimmy, at the worst, you have Raila and you have Ruto on the ballot. Where would you go? Do you know what Jimmy told me? Jimmy aliniambia hata kama ni mbaya hivyo, afadhali nipigie Ruto. He said it. Na Ashley pia wakasema if that's the case, afadhali nirudishe Ruto. Then I asked them, so mtu ni mbaya hivi?
Alikuwa anasema tuweke military.
Yes. Ni mbaya hivi. And mmepewa mtu anaweza mtoa. But because haupendi huyo mtu, you would rather mtu arudi. Emotions still play a big part in our elections. Ikifika the time, Ruto knows how to stoke the emotions of Kenyans. He will pull that card. And you will see people that will say, afadhali tu Ruto tu bas. Ule mwingine hata afadhali turudishe Ruto. And Jimmy is an example of that population, that segment of the population that would do that. I'm sorry to bring his name up, but I mpaka nikamwambia I'm shocked that ukiambewa Raila na Ruto saa hii, you'd rather Ruto, as bad as you're saying he is, because haupendi Raila. You see? So mimi, whatever dynamics that will happen, I'm not seeing a scenario where Ruto goes home. The best case scenario in my view is he just makes sure that he's announced as the winner. He gets the nomination certificate. Whoever comes to negotiate with him starts from the point of he's the president-elect. Let's discuss from there. Then we end up with a government of national unity, coalition government, something, whatever you'd call it. That is the best case scenario for me post 2027, in my view.
I think you are right. The people of Kenya, the way they vote, but I can't stop laughing with the comment from Gypsy Corner. You know, today Kasumel Loure appeared on Spice looking like a Corino, one of the sect leaders in Wakorino with the ODM regalia. He's thinking that, you know, he's really campaigning for ODM everywhere that he goes. So he wears everything ODM, and he started his speech by praising Raila Odinga. Then the host, I think it was the host, started telling him, we are here to talk about the youth, not Raila Odinga. I saw the whole of it, Gypsy Corner, and that shows you what this youth looks at.
They told him kwa studio, they told him, bana, you remove these things, you can.
Enda uchanue hiyo nywele hapo, uende
utoe hizo. Walimwambia atoe kofia ya ODM na hiyo scarf ya ODM because the show is not promoting ODM.
Yeah, they don't promote ODM. So unaona like this brings me back to these young leaders. Some of them, and I think Morara did a very good thing, a very good show. For the first time, I congratulated him. You know, this interview that you were in Spice was a good one. You talked maturely, you did the things the right way, like a leader. Morara presented himself so well on that particular show. Now it reminds me of somebody like Toto. Do you remember this girl called Toto? Who is a women rep in Bomet. Toto alienda.
Alipata mimba. She went on maternity leave. Sijui hajatoka maternity leave. She was pregnant the last time I saw her.
Apart from that, she ended up employing the brothers, everybody from his family into his office.
Yes. Yes.
So some of these young people, not all of them, some of them have not tested leadership and power. So you accept them to go crazy when they get these positions and start doing very weird things. That is why the millennials need to come and help them. Hapa poeni kidogo, hapa inaendaga namna hii, the way Ruto says, hapa kunaenda hivi, hapa kunaenda hivi. So some of these guys are acting crazy. I think by Kasumel greeting Raila Odinga, he went crazy. He just went berserk. Yeah. He just went nuts. This is the highest position in his political career. So can you imagine? Can you imagine him being a member of parliament or being given a position of leadership within ODM? What will we see? We will see a lot of drama around this young man. Yeah.
Exactly.
So sometimes I agree that there's a lot of civic education that needs to be done amongst our people. And Ruto can just win the election. I don't dispute that. He can win the election. Although being very unpopular, we have seen unpopular candidates before.
Absolutely.
Like elections in Africa, people like Museveni, they have won elections. Moi won elections many times. And being a student of Moi, he can easily just win election. Kibaki was won at night, late in the evening, when people were busy counting votes. The tape was already in broadcasting house, and people are busy counting votes. It was just something that had to be played, that this is now your president. So a lot needs to be done, especially in Kenya and Africa in general. That elections are things that should be taken seriously by the people. If I go to my local WhatsApp group in the village, you see what they discuss about, then you know that we have a big problem. People who are even educated, Jeremy, you and me share the same forum. People who are even educated, some of our leaders, you see what their concern. Then you wonder that, if this guy a representative, if this guy is representing a constituency and he has been there for more than 2-3 terms, and the people still elect him. People still elect him, and he has never built even a modern school, not even an hospital, not even a toilet. Not even a toilet. Not even, and people will still elect him. And still elect him. So our standards when it comes to elections are so low, that anything can happen. The madman in the village can win an election.
Yes.
It can win an election easily. Yeah.
So me, I think that we can do a lot of civic education. We can change people's minds one person at a time. But as far as Ruto winning the coming elections, for me, it's a foregone matter. We need to just see from after he leaves, who next, who will be, the right candidate. And I hope that we would have the right people on the ballot in 2032, so that we make a change for once. Ruto's situation is bad, and you're going to have to deal with it for the next, foreseeable future until after 2027, unless really something drastic happens. I don't know what that drastic thing would be that would get Ruto out of the office and have him hand the sword to somebody peacefully. I don't know if that would take.
Let me tell you the drastic thing that can happen. Papa goes to AUC, wins the elections in AUC. The people are liberated. They don't have anybody to follow directions from. The political space is open, and we can now use our brains and not use somebody's brains to think.
I think that will just open up the Luo Nyanza political space.
No, when the Luo Nyanza political space is opened, it opens other regions too. Because Baba does not only influence elections in Luo Nyanza alone, he has already influenced the elections in Nairobi. He has already endorsed, you saw Baba endorsing Sakaja the other day.
Oh man, that was another one. Yeah?
Now you miss the point. Look at that kind of thing. Baba wakes up one day and then he goes to Bomas and says that after this Sakaja guy, we will support him in 2027. What is all that? Now mimi kitu ile nasema hiyo ilikosea walemavu heshima. Imagine this other guy is MP from Kangemi, the brother to Wetangula. Wanted to be the governor. Timu Wanyonyi wanted to be the governor. Hata despite hiyo disability yake, ODM haina huruma kusema hey bwana wewe umejaribu hiki.
And you know last time if not for Raila telling Wanyonyi to step aside, even Sakaja was not even anywhere close to being a governor. Actually, Wanyonyi was winning this thing. He was going to be the governor, but
winning. Lakini now moja na wheelchair akamtupa under the bus.
Yes. So, but I think people say that it's a betrayal to Babu. I don't think it's a betrayal. I said it before in this show, right? That hakuna kitu kama betrayal in politics. It's about everyone preserving their interest. Now, Babu Owino has not. Kuna mtu amesikia Babu Owino himself saying anataka kuwa governor?
Yes.
I haven't heard him say that.
Kuwa governor.
Babu Owino anataka kuwa governor mbaya sana.
Has he said it? Ni watu wanamwekelea he wants to be governor.
Ajasema.
Then you're behind
but he has also even said he wants to be president. Si amesema hata anataka kuwa president.
No. Babu Owino wants to be the governor for Nairobi, and that is why you have been seeing. That's why you have been seeing him meeting people like Sonko, meeting people like Gachagua, meeting people like Kalonzo. He wants to be the governor.
That's why he's lost it. That's why he's lost it.
No,
if you want to be governor and you want Baba's support and you're meeting Sonko and Gachagua and this, you've lost it. That's where you lost it. But
Babu, even before that, he wanted to be the chairman of the PAC. He was denied. He was denied. How many positions have been denied in the party? This is not a party that's controlled by Gachagua or any other party. It is controlled by the party members. He was denied.
What I can tell you is that what Baba is seeing is one. I know that for yesterday's event, I know that was why Sakaja's name was propped. I know he sponsored that thing 100%. Aliambia tu watu nyinyi kujeni. I know how ODM works. So for that to have happened, I know that it was Sakaja's money, and by extension, our money that sponsored yesterday's event. That is one. Two, Baba is probably looking at who runs a better chance of being governor. Because to be honest, if you ask me, Babu and Nairobi governorship, they are worlds apart. Sioni kama anaweza toboa. Sioni kama toboa. And then he's already holding a portfolio. So you would best, where he is. So Baba anaona mtu stands a better chance of going back, and who better than the current governor to mrudishe hapo. So I think that's the card Baba played yesterday. I don't think it's betrayal to Sakaja or to Sifuna. Baba is just looking at who probably stands a better chance against all competition that would probably win. But sidhani kama anaona nani akishinda Babu.
Babu amekuwa akikampeni sana, amekuwa akipost vitu mingi sana, kukiwa na hizo madrainage systems zimeenda vibaya, mvua ikinyesha, shule zikiharibika, post pale anasema Nairobi inaendelea vibaya sana. Hata jana vile aliona Raila amesema kijana yake atakuwa anaingia pale 2027. ambaye ni Sakaja. Babu aliumia sana bwana. Hiyo ni betrayal. Unakataa Omondi, unakataa betrayal, lakini ile ilikuwa betrayal sana kwa Babu Owino bwana. Sasa followers wa Raila.
Me, I don't in politics I don't use the term betrayal. Like I said, the interests in a play, personal preservation and self-preservation, and survival for the fittest. So I don't usually think it's betrayal as such. But with that said,
Raila Odinga is the unshakable pillar of democracy in Kenya, a man who has spent decades fighting for the people's voice.
Kenya wanataka maji, wanataka elimu, wanataka matibabu.
But to others, he isn't just the father of democracy. He is also this year's biggest political backstabber. And here is why. On Monday, February 10th, Raila Odinga convened a crucial meeting at Bomas of Kenya with his most devoted supporters and a faction of ODM members.
Asante sana.
This wasn't just another routine political gathering. It was his final address before jetting off to Ethiopia, where he hopes to secure the African Union Commission AUC chairmanship. But amid the usual political theatrics, two things stood out: the conspicuous absence of Babu Owino, Raila's fiery and ever-loyal MP, and an unexpected political twist that left tongues wagging.
Mumefanya mobilization kubwa. Governor Sakaja, thank you, because you stood with the party of Nairobi to make this event a reality.
In a move that no one saw coming, Raila Odinga publicly endorsed Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja to oversee the city's affairs in his absence.
Nataka Nairobi ibaki imara. Nataka Nairobi ibaki namna gani? Ndio huyo kijana yangu huyo. Ashikilie na afanye kazi sawa sawa. Si sawa sawa hiyo? Sivyo?
Now, for context, Sakaja is a card-carrying member of the ruling party, UDA. Yes, the very party that thrashed Raila's presidential ambitions in 2022.
Sisi tuko hapo bumper to bumper, tuko pamoja. Hawa mama, mimi nataka tupange baadaye. Zikifika hivi, nataka niwe na mkutano na wamama viongozi wa ODM. Tukae tuzungumziane. Sio pia
perhaps Babu Owino, who has remained a steadfast disciple, fighting Raila's battles in parliament and on the streets.
Number 3 is the parliament, and the fourth arm of government is Raila Amolo Odinga. So harboring an intention, not arresting, but harboring an intention, just thinking about it, harboring an intention to arrest Baba is tantamount to treason.
Sasa leo hii tumefika hapa na Baba. Nataka niambie Ruto na Rigathi ya kwamba huyu Baba ambaye mnaona hapa sio rika yenu. Nataka nikuulize Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, wacha kuweka maandamano Monday na Thursday. Weka Monday, weka Tuesday, weka Wednesday, weka Thursday, weka Friday, weka Saturday, na weka Sunday. Asanteni.
Instead, Sakaja, a former political enemy, was anointed to run the show. Was this a sign that Raila Odinga doesn't trust Babu Owino with Nairobi's affair? Or was it simply a real politic aligning with the powerful over the loyal? The internet was ablaze. It doesn't make sense why would Raila endorse Sakaja over Babu? This old con man has always been selfish and a betrayer. We hope he loses the AU seat so he can look even more confused, one Kenyan fumed online. Another added, if ODM gives Sakaja a straight ticket for Nairobi governor in 2027, that will be the ultimate betrayal. Bobo Wino will still beat him, even on an MDG ticket. If they don't appreciate Babu's presence, let them deal with his absence. Another added.
On Governor Sakaja being favored by Raila Amolo Odinga, as I told you that in a house, a father can love one child more than the other. But it is quite unfortunate that this child is not from our house. This is a neighbor's child. This is a neighbor's child who in 2007 was in Vijana na Kibaki, opposed Baba because he was in Kibaki's team and did not vote for Baba. Therefore did not want Baba. In 2013, he was the chairman of TNA. Did not vote for Baba, opposed Baba, and therefore did not want Baba to be the president. In 2017, he was in Jubilee. Opposed Baba, did not vote for Baba, and wanted Uhuru to be the president. In 2022, same thing, he was in UDA, Kenya Kwanza. He opposed Baba, did not vote for Baba, and wanted Ruto to be the president. So therefore, he's never wanted Baba. He wanted Kibaki, he wanted Uhuru in 2013, he wanted Uhuru again in 2017, and wanted Ruto in 2022. So this is not a person who is coming with clean hands. This is a person who does not love Baba. He's not sacrificed anything for Baba. So even going to Ethiopia, those are PR exercises. So Baba should know better.
But is Babu Owino really fit to run Nairobi County? According to Apostle Ndura Waruingi, Babu isn't seen as a leadership material in the Odinga camp, beyond his role as an MP. Babu has always been a convenient attack dog for the Odinga family. They only unleash him when they need someone to back, Waruingi remarked.
What happens to Babu Owino? And he really wants this position. Actually, if he's not part of the table that makes the decision, he'll break the table.
Yeah, he will break the table to who?
Because
Atatisha nani?
See, the guy seems he's very young, vibrant.
Being young, does
visionary.
Does Raila agree with
eloquent?
Does Raila agree with anything that does not come from his family?
So what ukikutana na Babu Owino
kama sasa kama Wajaluo wangekuwa independence, Kedero ndiye angekuwa.
Na sasa ungepewa chance hii. Ukutana na Babu Owino ungemwambia nini?
Babu Owino rafiki yangu sana. Na I'm supporting him. For to bring, because the only good thing that Ruto alifanyia nchi is to kill the dynasties. Hizo dynasty mbili, tatu, Moi, Kenyatta and Oginga.
Jeremy, I hope you've heard that video from Babu, and now you agree that he wants to vie for the gubernatorial elections, the Nairobi. I have to play that video.
Your statement, your video ilikuwa, I saw it kitambo. But what I'm asking is him categorically saying, using the words, I want to be governor of Nairobi County. That one I've never heard. That is one. Two, if you had Gladys Wanga's statement, goes to tell you that, like I said, the cost of whatever was done at Bomas the other day was met by Sakaja. So Sakaja is already investing in getting Baba support and more than anyone else, Mzalendo, you know this as well as I do, that Baba, as much as he's a good politician, he follows the money. Babu right now does not have any money that he can do. Do you think Babu could have sponsored something like what happened at Bomas yesterday? I don't think he has the money. So who has the money to do all that? Sakaja. And that's why, it was easy for Baba to say like that. And then not to say that it's cast in stone that because Baba has said that, he will stick by it until the next election. Baba makes a turn at the stop of a dime. Kesho hii unaweza sikia naamka anasema Sakaja ni nani? Yeah? So
takataka.
Yeah. Nani yeye ni mtoto ya nani? Pierre Men. You know? Pierre Men. You know when he says that? Yeah? Manya thimo for manadi. That is when you hear that, you know things are bad. Yeah, when you hear Baba say that, you know that things are bad. So yeah, I know that the statement yesterday was born out of the fact that
Jeremy, and you're vying somewhere in Omabay. You better just pack your things and you go wherever you can go. Forget about that election. You're done.
Forget it. Yeah, forget it. And I've heard him say that statement personally several times. And every time he says it, people shake. When he says that, if it's directed towards you, we tafuta mali ya kujificha na usahau hiyo maneno. So I know that the statement was born out of the fact that Sakaja foot the bills for whatever happened yesterday. We'll live to see what happens by the time the election comes around. But to say the least, I don't think that Babu has what it takes to clinch the gubernatorial seat for Nairobi. I think he's still far away, unless he gets himself in a very, very unique situation, like Sakaja did, where he's running on the party of the president, and the president has an interest, and there is no strong opposition for his run. Because that's what happened to Sakaja. Sakaja didn't have any serious opposition, right? And he was running on the president's party, and the president had an interest in making sure that his party controls Nairobi. That is the only reason Sakaja managed to go. He found himself in the sweet spot at the right time. But if it was just any other clear election, and people are running, and maybe Sonko was running, and Sakaja is running, and maybe Babayao is running, and all these other people are running, probably Sakaja would have even gotten close to that seat. Yeah. So we'll see. But I refuse to use the term betrayal at this point, especially in this scenario, because one, I've never had Babu Owino categorically say, I want to run for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat. And two, I know that the statement was said on the back of whoever paid or financed the events that happened at Bomas the other day.
Asante sana Jeremiah. But from my own point of view, I think Babu Owino has the best qualities to become the governor of Nairobi, because what he has done in Embakasi, he has really changed lives of many people in Embakasi, where he is the member of parliament. That is Babu Owino. But I don't know why Jeremiah is saying that he doesn't think that maybe you are not a close follower of Babu Owino. Make sure you always check what he posts on his social media platforms, the likes of Facebook.
Let me tell you how close I am to Babu Owino. I stay in Donholm. He's my MP. Upper Savannah Ward is right. My MCA Stanzo Omungala is a friend of mine. Is neighbors with my cousin, and we do barbecues at Stanzo Omungala's house with Babu present. I have sat with him when he's doing his bursaries at Donom Primary School, where my children go, and I did ODM branding for some material which were distributed to ODM through Babu Owino. So I know him. He's somebody I have his number, I can call, and he can pick. So I know.
As we now cross to the next topic, we have seen members of parliament who have really accompanied Raila Amolo Odinga to that elections that will happen in Addis Ababa. We have seen how loyal those members of parliament are when it comes to supporting Raila. And of course, Raila said that if they win, he is okay with that. If they get the defeat, then he is okay with that. So what will happen if those members of parliament then they go there and then Raila loses that chairmanship of being the African Union president? Of course, he will be the leader of the entire continent of Africa. Je, nini itafanyika? Wacha tuanze na Mzalendo. Mzalendo, ni nini inaweza fanyika sasa hao ma MP sasa wakienda kule wamemuunga mkono ule Raila, lakini wakienda huko Raila anguke, wale viongozi wengine wachukue, tuseme Madagascar ama Djibouti. Mzalendo uko mute bwana, mute.
Boni, it is like let me give you a good example. MPs have organized themselves. They have gone to Addis Ababa to support Raila. It is like, let me give you a scenario maybe you can resonate with. You know, Karen Golf Club is a members only golf club. When you go to Karen Golf Club and say that, you know, I am Boni and I want to enter here and see what is happening here, you will not be allowed unless you are a member of the golf club. Now, similar to this bid for AUC, the people who are voting are the presidents of the countries. These MPs who have gone to Addis Ababa, I don't know what kind of moral support they are going to give Baba. I don't know whether it is for moral support or for show off that we are together. But for me, I want to look at it like a waste of taxpayers' money to go to Addis and worse still, come back empty-handed without the seat. That would be even more. It will be even a sad scenario to be at the airport that you wasted taxpayers' money, you went to Addis Ababa and you came empty-handed. I think this election for AUC is hyped so much to an extent that we think that Raila will be the president of Africa. Remember, there is the AU chairman who is the head. Now, AU commissioner is the administrator of what happens in the African Union. So for me, I wait to see what happens. Otherwise, I've got nothing to lose. I wish Baba luck. I wish let him win that particular seat. Perhaps it will open the political arena for many players who would want to join politics. That's how I see it, Jeremy, unless you have something.
I agree with you, and as well, I support him. I hope he wins. At least by Saturday night, we shall have known the truth. However, let me demonstrate to you how myopic our Kenyan politicians are by, opting to go there. One, you're very right when you say those guys will go, but they won't even get into the AU complex. It's not a public event where people will walk in to go. They will be standing outside at the gate. Remember the way Kina Sonko used to stand outside the gates of The Hague when they are going, they have carried 100 people that they are going to support Kina Ruto and Uhuru at The Hague.
Yeah, and you can't enter the court.
You get there, and you find that the entrance to the complex is 5 miles away from the actual building where the things are happening. So you are ruko kwa gate, you don't even see, you don't even know what's going to happen. That is one. And then two, and you are right again when you say that it's presidents who are voting. The way our Kenyan politicians think, and I don't know why they get the idea, they are thinking that all African presidents are now in Addis, and on that day, they'll be walking in and marking a ballot, Raila or who and putting in a box the way we vote here. These presidents are going to send their votes from the the presidents are not even in AU there. They are not even in the building. They are voting from their own countries. They will just send their votes electronically, right, and sign it and send, and it gets counted in a room, and the counting will take less than 15 minutes, and it's done. Yeah. So our Kenyan politicians are thinking it's the voting pattern that they're used to. They think that people are going to line up somewhere. They're imagining that now African presidents are walking in one by one, going in to vote, and they tell them, hey, Pigia Raila, vote for Raila, vote for Raila. Then they go in and they vote and they walk out. They're just myopic in their thinking. That's all I can tell you. They're just myopic. There is no reason for them to go there. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And if they understand this, they would better stay home. Get whatever the per diem, kama ni per diem unataka, go to Oshago, relax huko, come back on Sunday evening or Monday morning. Na uendelee na kazi. So that is the other point. The other thing is that I've seen also saying that Raila's win would be good for the country and good for the continent of Africa. I agree with that. I'm just not sure how much impact the AUC chairmanship has with regards to policy and the direction of where the AU, what AU does and all of that. I've not done my research to study and understand all that, but I'm going to do that tomorrow and just to make sure that I understand the role and the impact this office will have in the overall AU policy direction. But overall, we wish Baba well. We hope he wins, because like you said, it will create a bit of political space for some people, but then also it will help to quell the political temperatures in Kenya come 2027, because if he's not on the ballot, I don't see anyone who will put up a very strong fight against Kasongo that would make the temperatures of our elections go as high as they've always gone previously. Kasongo will have an easy time getting to the finish line, and we'll then see how his second term will be.
unajua unasema hivi na Kasongo wako na competition ya kina Matiang'i ambao wako endorsed na kina Jeremiah Kioni, William Uhuru Kenyatta. Itakuwa rahisi kwa Kasongo Jeremiah. Nakwambia majenzi watakuwa wanahesabu hizo kura. Kama ni Mombasa watakuwa wanahesabu kura za Mombasa ni ngapi, Kisumu ni ngapi, Kakamega ni ngapi. Majenzi wako ready kuhesabu kura ya 2027. Hakuna wizi wa kura.
But who has the final authority to say who got what? Ni Gen Z ama ni the electoral?
So if the IEBC declares wrong numbers for the elections, then that is where things will just void. The Gen Z are saying that they are not going to allow that again.
Wataenda to court, you know, after the elections, maybe kama ni getting overturned, it gets overturned. By the time it's being overturned, whoever is sitting there has influence on the judiciary and the Supreme Court, and things go. We know how these things play out, and I don't think that 2027 is going to be any different. Whether things go to the courts, whether they get finished at the commission stage, we know how these things happen. Ruto knows how these things happen, and he knows how far off from the election date he starts to play his game. And he's already playing his game, my friend. He's already, to be honest, if this election will be run by the IEBC as it's going to be constituted in the next couple of weeks, you know already that that election is going to be illegal. Why? What is the constitutional requirement of the duration of formation of the IEBC commissions and the time of the election? Already as it is right now, the election is going to be irregular because the Electoral Commission is already not formed at the right time. That is one. Two, Ruto is already playing his numbers games. He's anafanya hesabu yake pole pole. When he used to tell kina Raila, mimi nimejipanga these past elections, jipange nani, mimi najipanga. He knew what he was saying. Na anajua kujipanga. He will do what he needs to do. As much as I wouldn't wish that he wins again, he's not good for our country. I'm comfortable in the possibility that he is going to win. So that if he doesn't win, I would be surprised in a good way than being, upbeat that he's going to win. Then, he's not going to win. Then he wins, and then I'm surprised, in the wrong way.
Yes, and of course, there's someone in the comment section saying that Raila wins, then it will be of importance to Kenya. Mzalendo, kutakuwa na faida kweli kwa Raila akishinda hiki kiti cha AOC? Wakenya watafaidika kweli?
Boss, pole. Ati Wakenya watafaidika kweli na hii Raila akipata AUC. You know, people don't really understand the role of Raila Odinga or the role of the chairperson for AUC chairperson in Africa. Now, this position is very, very diplomatic in a way that Raila will be now representing the African Union in diplomatic meetings with other development partners. Maybe he will be in a meeting with the UN, things like that. So it is more of a diplomatic mission, and maybe signing documents or treaties with other countries. So that is why I don't see it affecting you directly, but it affects policies that happen across the continent. policies to do with economic regional development. Those are the policies that Raila will be looking at. So one important factor is that the AUC chair is the one who is in charge of the budget of AU. So he will come up with a budget. Of course, the countries that are signatory to African Union contribute towards this budget. But most importantly, Raila is working under the heads of states at the mercy of the head of state of the Republic of Kenya, who is William Ruto, who has recommended him. So this position is very, very powerful. In Africa, it is very, very powerful. But domestically, like the village chap down there might not understand the significance of this position. I am yet to see what it might do. Remember, there are countries that are not going to vote. There are factors that you need to take into account that is not coming out during these media briefings, and of course Raila himself is not articulating how these things are going to happen. So the media needs to tell you that the countries that are at war right now, be it the DRC, maybe the DRC is not, the DRC, no, DRC are going to vote. Niger, countries that have been affected by coup cannot vote in the African Union. Sudan are not going to vote. Burkina Faso are not going to vote. Gabon are not going to vote. Guinea and maybe in Mali. That is my understanding. They are not going to vote. So this is the scenario that is going to play. Whether it is going to be advantageous for Raila Odinga, we yet to see that on Sunday, just as Jeremy has said. But this position is already occupied by one. It's called Faki, or what is his name? I keep on forgetting.
Faki.
Yeah, Musa Faki. So Faki, I can tell you that me and you and many other people who have come in this forum, very few of us know of Musa Faki or what he has done in his term as the AUC Commission Chair. I don't know how much the decisions that he has made as chair that has impacted your life. Maybe Bonnie, the AUC chair, has impacted your life, or Osam in on the comment section can tell us whether Faki's decision has impacted the economy of Africa in general, or Faki's has implemented things that we can see. So some of these things are just policy and diplomatic missions that probably some of us might not even come to understand what they are. So that is how complex being the AIC commissioner is. But you see, people think that Raila will now be the president of Africa. No, there is the chairman of AUC who is more powerful than Raila Odinga comes number 2 in Africa, because he will be controlling the budget under the supervision of course, and reporting to the Secretariat of African Union. So that is how that structure, my understanding is about the structure of AUC Commission. Yeah.
Yes, Mzalendo. Jeremy, Raila akipoteza itakuwaje?
Yeah, I was telling Mzalendo earlier, let what happen. We'll know the result on Saturday night. But what's exciting to me most is whichever direction the decision goes, I want to see Parliament next week on Tuesday. For me, that is going to be more interesting to observe than even the result itself. Because if he goes, probably it will be a lot of jubilation and congratulation and, you know, things like that. And the status quo will remain. The opposition, as it were, the ODM team will continue what they are doing in supporting the government and pushing the government's policies through parliament and, you know, things like that. If he loses, then we have to start thinking, what is his next move upon return? And that is where the excitement comes in for me. Will he continue with the status quo, supporting the government of the day like it is right now? Or is he going to come back and resurrect his party and go back to opposition now that they have the majority in parliament? And what will that mean for especially the very vocal ODM parliamentarians who have until late today have thrown their weight behind the government? So for me, the most interesting thing is what will happen on Tuesday in Parliament after the results of the AU elections are declared. Kumbuka pale hakuna rerun na hakuna recount, ikishapigwa imeisha. Once it's done, and everyone goes home, and that is over. So that's what I want to see. But I agree with Mzalendo that Kenyans largely are misguided on this, that they think now Baba is going to be the president of Africa, that they are anticipating their lives to change, that they are anticipating to see some change in in their lives because now Baba is there. Very far from the truth. And I think as much as he will influence policies of the AU body, on the ground, I don't think we'll feel quite a good number of those policies that he will influence. I don't think that it's going to be a situation where he will say, oh, now let's use this money in Kenya and go and build this road in Homa Bay. Or let's use, I don't think that's what's going to happen. So it will be largely more of a bragging rights that a Kenyan is the AUC chair. But in terms of impact, I don't think there will be a lot of impact, especially considering that it's more of a diplomatic role, an administrative role, and is apolitical, cannot play politics, cannot influence politics, especially at their home country levels. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see. I can't imagine a scenario where he loses and he comes back and decides to take his rightful place in the opposition, and then all his MPs who vowed to fight for Ruto until the last breath, Kinawandai, are then forced to be in the opposition and have to make a U-turn. I don't know how that will play out, but it will be very interesting to see what happens post that. But other than that, I wish Baba all the best.
I wish Baba the best. That is Jeremiah. And of course, I can see a lot of followers here following this great conversation in our social media platforms. If you're following us through YouTube, you're following us through Facebook, make sure you subscribe to Afrique 24. Afrique 24, here we have this show that happens every day, 10 p.m. East African time. And we give you this platform to share ideas with Kenyans, whereby you are invited to the studio, join through the link, and then you will be able to share your ideas to Kenyans who are following this great conversation as we approach 2027. We are trying to see what will happen in 2027. But as Afrique 24, we wish, from my own point of view, I think we wish Raila Amolo Odinga all the best. He has been my candidate. I thought that he will win in 2022 because every month I would be getting 6,000 from his end. But now I could not get it. I wish Raila all the best. I voted for him 2022. I voted for him in 2022. I thought he will win. In 2017, I voted for him again. Now I am still worried. And I was fresh in campus in 2017. I voted for Raila, even without knowing that he will win. Then in 2022, I was confident that every end month I'll be getting 6,000. But he lost. Maybe if he joins the AU, then he can be sending those 6,000 to Kenya. Zalendo, why are you laughing?
You know, I like the way you are behaving like Kimbi or Nuru Okanga.
Si kimbi. Hiyo 6K ningekuwa nanunua shopping naye, nanunua kreti ya mayai, nanunua kamzinga.
You know, these are the stories that I hear. Sometimes I say that we are crazy. You know, there are basic things that a candidate in Kenya should offer. If you are running for president, there are two basic things that you should always be looking for. I want my people to get good health care. Number one, all the hospitals will have drugs. I want clean water in each and every village. Those are the basics. Those are basic needs. And then food security. Those three things. You just don't jump and say that I'll give people 6,000 shillings. 6,000 shillings that they don't have health care. They don't have proper health care. They don't have proper infrastructure. They don't even have food to put on the table. And who will sustain this? This is a country in debt. That each and every time when somebody wakes up, they're saying that, you know, we are paying, unalipa madeni. Ni kama wewe, each and every time, ule mama mboga bwana anakudai pale kwa ile soko yako unaenda kuchukua mboga. Ni kama umesikia kwa ukweli fulani hapo Boni. Unaenda unadaiwa ule nyama mama, ule mtu wa nyama pale, ule mshiri wa nyama pale akikuona ukipita, kuja bwana, ile pesa yangu utaipata siku gani? Lakini wewe ile pesa unatengeneza iwezi timiza mahitaji yako. Yeah, so Kenya, we have not learned to live within our means. Somebody asked that why should even we pay these MPs 1 million? Why are we paying these MPs 1 million? Look at the parliament ya Kenya. Sijui kuna watu 300 and ngapi? How many people? 300? And we have IBC coming to even create more constituency. So in Kenya, I am telling you, when we are done with this nonsense, ninakuambia parliament ya Kenya itakuwa the whole of Nairobi CBD. Nyumba zimejengwa ni za wabunge, wanakuja kazi. Kila siku wanakuja kazi, wanaongea mambo yao, wanajiongezea mshahara. So we don't have leaders in Kenya who can stand for the people. Very few of them, just a small percentage, they can stand for the people. So the day we will start living within our means and get proper leadership, both as grassroots, forget even about the presidency. If your local MCA is not doing the right job, and then unajipiga kifua, unasema unataka kungoa president, na bado umeshindwa kungoa hata MP wa huko kwako, hata MCA umeshinda kumngoa. Sasa president utamtoa namna gani? So some of these things, we have to be realistic. Anza na huko mashinani, ensure that there is accountability in what your money is doing. You hold these leaders into into accountability. They need to be accountable for each and every tax that they pick, because that is your money. MP asikuja kwako akikwambia ati leo nataka kuwapatia basari, alafu mnamka mnampigia makofi na vigelegele. Ujinga mtupu. Kazi yake sio kukulipia school fees ama kupangisha wazazi wako pesa line hapo wapatie pesa ya karo ya shule yako. Me, when I was going to school, my father and mother were really struggling to pay my school fees. There's no time they walked into an MP's office kutafuta karo. MP kazi yake ni policy. Aende pale atengeneze sheria ya free secondary education. Lakini niwezi wanataka kuiba kila saa hii pesa ya CDF, ndio maana wanakupangisha line pale kila wakati. So we are in that kind of situation where lazima tuambie watu ukweli, na hiyo ukweli ndio unaona watu wanakuwa abducted, wengine wanapotea nao. Niliwaambia watu bana, mimi aswa mimi ukijaribu kuniabduct me have 400 pounds, utanipeleka wapi? Siwezi fit ndani ya pro box. Afadhali umalizane na mimi mapema. Lakini ukweli wangu nimese. And then hata uniweke kwa ati umeniweka, utanilisha kwa siku ngapi? Hii mwili ndio ulishe bwana, hiyo ni hasara. Umalizane na mimi mapema tu. Probox naye uingii, afadhali umalizwe mapema. So we are in that kind of situation where we have to start saying the truth. And the truth is what will set this country free into prosperity. Usikuja ati unadanganywa tutapatiwa 6,000, 10,000 kila mwezi. Hizo ni upuzi bwana. Boni.
Jamani, nilikuwa Israel angetupatia hiyo 6k. Tungekuwa tunanunua shopping naye.
Akitoa wapi?
Tali kingia kwa serikali. Serikali haiwezi kosa mahali tunatoa 6k.
Haiwezi. There is no way you can get that money. That is an unsustainable project that would have failed from day one. Angejaribu kuimplement. Ingefanya ombe deni, ama ingefanya ombe deni ndio awapatie hiyo pesa, but utaomba deni ndio upatie watu pesa which does not bring any returns. The best thing to do is me have said this over and over again. Kenya needs a soft dictator. Okay? Ule akiingia by whatever means, the first thing you do, lower salary ya MP to the ground. Elective positions zikue because you feel it in your heart that you have the capacity to serve people, not because you want to go and make money. In the Scandinavian countries, members of parliament are actually volunteers. They are only given sitting allowances, no salary. So by the time you're campaigning to go and be an MP or a what, know that you are going to be a volunteer on the government. Unapewa tu allowance. That is where we need to get to. That is one. Two, vitu kama CDF, bursary, they need to be streamlined because that's where the wastages happen. Listen to this simple explanation ya bursary. Okay? See, the government already has collected the money from you. Wakaweka kwa treasury, si ndio? Ukuna mtoto yako anaenda shule ya government mahali. Shule hii ilijengwa na government, walimu wameandikwa na government, na government ina finance hiyo shule yote. So technically the government owns that school, si ndio? Mtoto wako ameenda hiyo shule. Government inachukua hii pesa, ishachukua kwako, it gives an MP in the name of CDF so that MP achukue hii pesa akulipie nayo karo. kwa shule ya serikali. Why can't the government come up with a framework of knowing huyu mtoto deserves bursary? Now cut out the middleman, watoe CDF. Mtoto akishaingia shule, sahi kuna NEMIS. The government knows which student is in which school. Watume that money directly to the school. Because the government owns the school and the government has the money. Na mwenye kutoa hiyo pesa in terms of taxes ni wewe and mtoto wako anaenda shule. Why is it going to the MP? To do what with it? And if you tell that to the MPs that you want to abolish CDF, utakufa the next day. They don't want to hear it. Then that's just an example. So if we get a dictator, a soft dictator, I don't want a full dictator. But even a full dictator pia si mbaya. But a soft dictator who knows this thing is good for the country. I'm not going to negotiate it with the opposition or whoever. I'm not going to compromise it. I need it implemented. This thing, I need the people's opinion and understand, let the people agree that this is a good thing to go. First thing, salary MP kata to the ground. Let them be volunteers. Patia MP gari moja na polisi moja. And that same police ndio driver. Period. Once you implement it, ule hataki arudi home, afanyiwe election ingine. And if you are a soft dictator, that is where you first of all suspend the constitution. Period. You just suspend it, tuseme mnajua hiyo kitabu mnapigia kura 2010. Tunataka kuiweka kando kidogo. We want to sort this country out. Watu wale wameshaitiwa corruption yoyote before you, anything beyond 10 million or 100 million Kenya shillings, and it was public money. Jilete, you have 48 hours to surrender to the next police station or wherever your case ulikuwa nayo ya corruption, where the case is being held. You have 48 hours to report there, and then we consider giving amnesty, or we are coming for you. If you have any pending cases involving public funds, where you have been accused, whether you've been convicted or not, but the case is there, to apply common sense, because, for example, the case of Rio Olympics 2010, well, I don't know what was 2010, I think, yeah. The chairman, National Olympic Committee, amepata uniforms za our athletes ya kuenda Rio. Okay? Then our athletes get to Rio, hakuna uniform. Wanaingia kwa parade. Some of them don't have the uniforms to even play the games that they went to the country to represent. Then the National Olympic Committee chairman anakuja anapatikana in his house, hizi manguo ziko kwa chini ya kiti. Kwa social media profile ya bibi yake na watoto wake wamevaa these uniforms, wameenda nazo Mombasa, sijui wameenda Mauritius, wengine wamevaa wameenda nazo huko Rio. Do we need to have to take you through court ati ndo tuseme uliiba hizo nguo? No, uliiba. Nguo zikufika Rio na zililipiwa, but your family are wearing them here. Wewe ndani, case huko. Your issue is just how long are you going to be in there? Not do you need to be in there or do you need to be out? The case is how long are you going to be in there? Straight cut. So watu wakimbie, wale wameiba pesa wakimbie, wale wanataka amnesty wanakuja, you confess to what you did, you bring back 80% of whatever you stole, urudishe. Hata tukwambie ulete 100%, 80% of it. If you are accused of stealing 20 billion, just give us 80% of that 20 billion. If you are accused of stealing 1 million, give us back 80% of that 1 million. The rest we can give you to sustain, then we can let you stay. Kama hiyo wewe ndani na tutatafuta hizo vitu and we just take them. That is the only way Kenya can be sorted out. Get a soft dictator, akuje na those radical things, change things all over. But if we keep getting people into office through a democratic, free and fair election, it's going to take us centuries to change.
Ai, mzalendo unasikia Jeremy anasema ati tukwenda kwa dictator. Dictator ni kama nani sasa? Na tunaona Matiang'i yako pale, tunaona Kalonzo yako pale, tunaona Kebaso, Kio Mtata.
Morara, Kibaso and Matiang'i can be good dictators. Matiang'i sana sana anaweza kuwa dictator mzuri sana, but will it be to the benefit of the Kenyan people? The kind of dictator Jeremy wants is the one that will benefit the people. Now, if you know, he started with the earnings of our MPs. In the US, the senator earns $174,000 US annually
per year.
Per year, that is the salary per year. So $174,000 per year. Divide per month, how much is he earning?
Hiyo ni salary ya regular person, mtu wako na job mzuri.
That's maybe hiyo ni job yetu ya kawaida. Not that
exactly.
Although they have got some other privileges that they have, like maybe sitting allowance and all that, but that is their salary that is capped at 174. And they don't wake up one day na unasikia after 1 year wameongeza mshahara yao. No. It was structured in a way that utaiongeza after a certain duration of time. But Jeremy, the thing that is disturbing this country of ours is our leaders. Now the CDF is used to manipulate the electoral process in Kenya, and it is the money. And that money is so much that we need to cut it into half, not even half ni kidogo, or we demand everybody else be paid equivalently.
No, your CDF inafaa tu ikuwe scrapped out completely, not even cut it, just need to be scrapped. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the political class cannot do that. It needs a dictator. That's why unaona nchi kama Marekani unapata wanajeshi, they are so disciplined, and after they finish service, what the aspiration of a retired military officer is to serve his country. After he has served his country in battle, he wants to now to get into office and serve his country in the best way possible. Ndio unapata the discipline is so high that it's somebody like J.D. Vance unapata alienda war. Yeah. And most of the presidents that have been there before, they have been into, apart from this other fellow.
Obama.
Yeah, Trump. He didn't go to military because maybe the father was very rich. So, unapata wameingia kwa jeshi, and most of the senators and congressmen and women, wote wengi wao, they've served their country.
Veterans,
Now, jeshi ya Kenya iko very, very disciplined. But where do these people end up? I don't even see them vying for any position. Wakisha retire wanaendaga wapi utu watu?
Wako kwa village wana relax too.
I mean, are they? When you get in the military, you are brainwashed to think, am I wagani? I don't understand what happens to people who have, even people like Kina Tonje, this other guy was called who? This other peacekeeper, Mjaluo alikuwa the renowned peacekeeper.
Yeah, what I know who you are saying, but you see the problem with us Kenyans is that during your working life you make sure that you build a good house in Oshago so that when you retire, unakuwa na nyumba mzuri. It's like our life is structured in a way that the end game is to retire peacefully, happily at home. That is what we want. Yeah. So, and that is wrong. We should be beyond retirement. You can go into public service and do something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I work with 73, 70, 60 something year old men and women. You work with them and they tell you, you know, I retired in my first job and this is my second or third job that I'm working. I'm just working to get busy. You are quite too busy and all that. You know, I can't just sit at home. Now, these people who are on active duty, they've never even gone to any combat war, wapi. For some military, wameenda wamekaa huko kwa village instead of, and they had discipline. Instead of coming and joining politics, I'm telling you, if
they have built a good home in Oshago, relax. They are fine. They are contented. That's all they wanted to do.
So they are waiting to die.
That's it.
Yani, these are another useless lot that we have. Yani, yani, you know, you served your country. You have served your country, unapiga story the way you served your, and now you've never gone to any war. Ujaenda hata vita yote. Bado uingie uanze kuvai for easy public position because we believe that the military wako discipline. At least they can bring some order in some of the situations. They can't.
Exactly.
Wameenda niko na mawe sijui ngapi wamekaa.
I agree with you. That is something that's an angle that I've never thought, but needs to be looked at. And what comes to mind is General Ogola's funeral.
Yeah.
His MP Atandi is his MP. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see, when you're running these types of races, elective posts, you look at the influential people, the moneyed people in your locality, the area that you're running. So Atandi at the funeral of General Ogola narrated the story of what General Ogola did for him. Yeah. So the first time he's running, he went to the general. Alisikia general akoshago akasema akajiintroduce that I'm the one, I'm running for MP da. That he was expecting that the general would give him something or support him. He talked and he left and he went and he thought that now the general is on his side. So he kept calling the general and saying, this, expecting a pay kitu. Then because he didn't see something forthcoming, he decided now to ask the general. So he called the general and asked, donation, we support like this. General akamwambia, okay, is that what we want? That's all you need. Okay. You come to Nairobi. When you come to Nairobi, you look for me. Then when he came back to Nairobi, he called the General Ogola now. And then the general told him, Niko job, but I'll be home at such time. And it was at night. He called him in at night. So I'll be home at this such a time. So you come, and this is where I stay. This is my address. You come. Si Atandi na mdomo yake amebeba na watu wake wa makelele mingi wanaenda kwa general. He's thinking that idi gonye, you understand? So when he got to the gate, general was already inside akambiwa ati your aspirant Atandi is here to see you. Akauliza, okay. Is he alone or is he with people? Ati is here with a few other people. There are how many? Ati there are 5. Traditionally, kwa Ogola, he says, now he's telling the story. If you go, once he clears you, because his gate is manned by the military, he clears you, then now those guys let you drive into the compound until you get into the house. So for Atandi now, the general himself went out to the gate as quite a distance. Akafika kwa gate, akauliza, oh, hey, okay, you are here. And who are these guys you're with? Akamwambia, wewe, I called you to come. You come in. These other people you're with, I'm giving them 5 minutes to step away from this compound. I do not want to see them. I did not call them. I called you alone. Tell your people 5 minutes watoke kwa compound yangu. I want them out. Akaingia na atani. Si atani is thinking, hey, hapa sasa general anaenda kunigonyoa da.
Ile pesa mzuri
Akawekwa chini. Anasema he was given a lesson of why he needs to understand as an elective aspirant why he should never even think of asking a military general of his caliber for support in whatever way, because any military person is supposed to be apolitical. They cannot support any political aspirant or party or what. Atandi said he was given a lesson on separating the armed forces from the politics. He was given alisema he was given a 4-hour talk kufundishwa tu tuelewe for 4 hours. Alipigwa kisomo, anasema mpaka now he's sweating because anajiona mjinga. Is like, how did I not even think of this before? After kupigwa hiyo kisomo, alitoka without even a single shilling. Na akaambiwa, the day you will hear that I retire and you need support, come. But as long as I'm in active duty, don't ever imagine that I would support you, regardless of whether you want to be president or you want to do nini, and don't ever come to me for that. Atandi alisema alipigwa kisomo. After that, they became friends. You could just call general for counsel and hey general, hey, uko nyumbani, pia mimi niko nyumbani. You meet, you have coffee, you go. No politics, no gonya, no nothing. which was a very, very good lesson. And I agree with you.
That is a very, very interesting perspective. And I hope people have listened to that. You know, that is so interesting.
Absolutely. That's why I agree with what you've said, that we need to really tap into our veterans, by the way, for leadership, because they have the discipline, but they're rotting in the village doing nothing.
Yeah. So you can imagine somebody of Ogola's caliber running for office. These are people with integrity. They are there. I'm sure. People like Inatonje, those are people with a lot of integrity. If they run for office, they will deliver whatever they want to do. I was reminded Washington Okumujalango. That is the name that that guy was serving in the military, and he broke the apartheid deal. Where did these guys go?
They're in shacks, just relaxing.
People like Maraga. We know that Maraga is a good leader. We have seen what he has done, but he's just in the village there, and he has retired. He doesn't even care about his country anymore. We should not depend on political class anymore. Anyway, I'm seeing Gerard Wangira here. I don't want to talk too much. Wangira. Pray Boni, see.
Yes. Jared. Karibu sana Gerard.
How are you?
Fine, Gerard.
I don't know where we are. Update me so that I know what we are discussing today.
Raila alisema ako tayari akipoteza kiti ya AU, ako sawa na atakuwa anarudi nyumbani. Raila akishinda chairmanship ya AU, kuna faida kwa Wakenya kweli?
You know, there are things that we call prestige. You know, for example, you discover that, you know, there are particular leadership. For example, if the Inspector General of Police comes from my village, other than the prestige that, you know, the Inspector General of Police is a member of my community, you know, there's nothing much that I derive out of him being the Inspector General. In fact, you know, if I was to commit an offense, he would be the first person to arrest. So, you know, I don't think that there's much that we are going to derive out of Raila Odinga if he wins the African Union Commission chairperson. But, you know, I seem to see and I want to see it from another, to look at it from another dynamism, that in case he loses, what is likely to happen? You know, what happened last evening in the National Assembly is, you know, a pointer to what is likely to happen in case Raila Odinga loses the African Union Commission chairperson election on Saturday. Because, you know, I tend to think that, you know, these things are very well calculated. You know, this is a calculative move. What you saw, you know, Wakina Junet Mohammed, Wakina Emilio Odhiambo, you know, moving to the majority side and claiming that, you know, they are the majority. I tend to think that this is a calculated move in preparation for any eventuality that Raila Odinga loses. That now when he loses, now, you know, they will have propelled him, you know, to start another argument in Kenya here next week by saying that, you know, we were the majority. And, you know, that will be a way to enable him to connect with William Samoei Ruto. So when he wins, it will be a prestigious thing for the people of Kenya, because he will be the chair of the African Union Commission. I don't think that beyond that, there's nothing much you'll get from that particular position, because, you know, if you understand, the African Union Commission is only the executive arm of the African Union, and it only implements, you know, what the summit of the African Heads of State agrees on. So, you know, it does not do, the African Union Commission does not implement its own programs. Every program that is implemented by the African Union Commission is what is agreed on at the summit of the African leaders. So, you know, it's just a prestigious thing. But, you know, there would be a problem if he loses. That's where I look at it. There would be a problem, and a big one for William Samoei Ruto. Moving forward, if Raila Odinga was to lose this particular position on Saturday.
Asante sana. Raila Amolo Odinga position for African nations. Someone in the comment section said that huyu anajibu mzalendo ambaye anasema ni lazima ujenge huko nyumbani ndio watu wa nyumbani wajue kwamba umezeeka, ni wakati wa kupumzika. When you become old, then it's high time now you relax after 65 years. Mzalendo, as we come to the end of the show, maybe you have something to add on.
No, personally, I think we have had a wonderful show. I think the Wangira has come late. We have done 2 hours of this show. And maybe next time you give him the signal early. Do you have Wangira's number so that next time the show is starting, get his number so that when the show is coming, we can start the show together. We have captured a lot of topics today, including what is happening in Parliament and the judgment that was.
Let me put my number in the chat. Let me put my WhatsApp number in the chat.
Put your number in the chat so that we have it. When we have these shows, Wangira, we need your valuable contributions in some of the topics, especially when we covered the parliamentary jostling for majority leadership. This is a position that I know so many people are thinking that ODM is really serious about this position. I think what you have said and what we have discussed earlier is that they are preparing for any eventuality. Should Baba not win the AUC seat, then they have something to lean on. But I don't see the opposition ODM coming out strongly and occupying their position. Once again, they have already proclaimed that there is no opposition in Kenya. What they have is a minority in the constitution. So I sincerely disagree that they will have any impact despite the court ruling, because they have got this arrangement called the broad-based government. But we are yet to see, and we also said that Ruto does not want to open wars with Wetangula. He has got so many wars going on in Central. He has got war going on in Northeastern. He has now opened war with the Somalis who are against other Somalis getting IDs from across the border. So a lot of this under the Gen Z, the stories of abduction. He has got so much going on that you cannot open another war front and manage it effectively. Having said that, I wish Baba all the best in his quest. Those who are hoping that this seat is going to bring a lot of change in Kenya, I can tell you, even Faki, who is there, we have not seen what he has done with the AC Commission chair. This is more of a secretariat and a diplomatic position and controlling the budget of all the African countries and coming up with something that works for Africa and meeting other development partners across the world to chart the way forward for Africa. So people should need to know what really happens. And for the MPs who have traveled to Ethiopia, I don't think they have got any meaningful, or it is just moral support for Baba. For me, I feel that that is a waste of taxpayers' money. That money would have been put to proper use in the country. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a good night.
Asante sana mzalendo, asante sana. Jeremy, tukimalizia.
May I always finish that let's talk, let's find ways to have some real on-the-ground impact with everything we say. Let's inspire change. Let's, over and above airing our opinions and exchanging ideas on various topics, we need to find a way that we can impact change on the ground to move Kenya forward. Good night.
Asante sana Jeremy, asante sana mzalendo, asante sana Jared Wangira. From my own end, I want to say thank you so much to our followers. Thank you so much to those who have been making sure that in the comment section, Gipsy Kuna awesome. We have been following this conversation in the with messages, and we have seen how you have really ganked us in this tonight show. At Kenya, we are at 1 a.m. I want to say, Gipsy Kona, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Awesome. We meet here simply same time today as we discuss more about politics. Awesome. Usisahau na vile tumesema. See you simply same time here as we discuss more about politics. I want to say goodbye. Awesome. Nategea.